In the cold, white north of Minnesota, there's a place that will get you warm after a long day on the ice. You can do some fishing or have a tasty beverage. And it's something of a dream for Josie.
I've always wanted to own a neighborhood bar, and we finally do. Mine's just sitting on a frozen lake. Ice fishing is a way of life around here for people. It gets so cold, below zero temps quite often, which allows us to drive and put houses out and drill holes in the lake and fish.
When it gets cold enough in the early winter, Josie's husband goes out and tests the ice to make sure it's thick enough. If it is, they can put the bar together, and then the ice hole can open.
The ice here is so thick that this bar sits on top of it. To come to our bar on the lake, you just drive your car out on. The local favorite drink here is called the minnow shot. People will actually take a live minnow, which is fishing bait, and put it into their shot and drink it.
Oh boy. Oh yeah! He wiggled a little bit. Yeah.
As delicious as that seafood beverage sounds, people come just because the fact that the bar exists is pretty amazing.
People's reactions to this bar are from crazy to they don't understand it to that's the coolest thing ever. They come from all over the world to see it. It's very seasonal. We're only open 20 days. If you're ever near Lake Lida, drive out on the ice, park, come into the bar, and grab a pole.
Water is just such an amazing medium. You can just see the crystals and how they form in so many different ways, and then take that and extrapolate it to these huge cliffs. What we do here is create spray ice and probably make over 300 different climbs. My name is Alexander Bianchi, and I'm an ice farmer. We're down here in the Uncompahgre Gorge. We have a water system at the top of the gorge, these galvanized steel shower heads. And it basically just sprays water out over the cliffs, and overnight when it's cold, it forms ice along the cliffs. What we really want is a nice clean surface for the new water to come down and just keep building off of that. So a lot of what we do here actually is rappel down a lot of these faces and just try to clear that snow off, ready for the next layer. There's about 2 miles of ice if you walk the bottom of the canyon. And yeah, we farm ice all along the top of it. Being an ice farmer is kind of hard work. We're gonna open up the south valve. Sometimes I think we're no more than like glorified plumbers. Ice farming is art and engineering. I mean, the two I think are always really inseparable. You know, the engineering is the logistics. How do we get water from point A to point B? Sometimes if the valves aren't cracked quite enough, you get a little bit of a freeze up. The water just doesn't get through the valve. The remedy is a blowtorch. On the artistic side is once we have this water where we need it, how can we do something different? How can we make something interesting that we've never climbed before? It's definitely an artistic process for some of us. I grew up rock climbing, fair weather climber. First time I came out here was just kind of blown away. It's so different than rock climbing. You're climbing a transient medium, the rock is always going to be there. This ice is not always there. So it creates this diversity and this intense experience that I really don't find in other facets of climbing. And that's why I'm proud to do what I'm doing.
Making drawings on land on quite a large scale is something people have been doing for thousands of years. I'm Simon Beck, and I make drawings in the snow. It started as a bit of fun, but gradually it's taken over my life. A ballpark estimate of footsteps, about 5,000 steps in an hour. A big drawing, 2 hours measuring, 8 hours work, you're looking at 40,000 steps. I started doing it as an easier alternative to hiking up the mountain when I wanted some exercise. You're starting with a drawing on a piece of paper, or else a drawing in your mind. Just treating it a bit like an orienteering map. You're just going a certain distance in a certain direction, determining distances by counting paces. It's a very physical exercise. It's equivalent to a long day's walking in the hills when you make one of these big drawings. I'm just about the only person in the world doing anything like it.
This incredible, colorful city will only last a few months. But for one local designer, the seasonal spectacular is worth it. Jinan Zhang is an award-winning ice sculptor and art teacher in Harbin, China. Harbin is known as the City of Ice, and each year hosts the incredible spectacle, the Harbin Snow and Ice Festival. These large-scale designs are remarkable, but it's quite a process, one Jinan knows well.
做冰雕的完整步骤是从设计开始，先进行构思，然后进行设计，画草图，画完草图之后开始画正稿，画完正稿之后开始捏泥，捏完泥之后就进行成品的创作了，就是上冰实践了。 做冰雕的时候，我们会要用到的工具那是很多了，主要分为2大类，一类是电动工具，一类是手动工具。在我们传统中，中国这边多以手动工具为主，后来与国外的交流中，我们不断的改良工具，最后把电动工具也加入进来。手动工具里边会用到叉子。 冰它比较脆，它怕震，所以刀一定要快。另外，在雕刻的时候
Starting with a block of plain ice may seem daunting, but to Jinan, this is just the beginning.
灵感来源于各个方面吧。设计灵感，每次我在设计的之前都会看很多的电影或者是新闻。 然后在这里去搜集我的创作灵感。有的时候，中国可能出现了一个重大的政治决策，或者是倡导一些什么思想，我会把这思想注入到我的作品中去。
But the reality of working with a seasonal medium has its downfalls.
它在每年要融化的时候，我都不忍心去看呢。但是也是因为这个，才能激发我创作出更好的作品来。
It's obviously an icon for the mountain, just the symbol of it.
You don't have a lot of opportunity in life these days to have 10 or 12 minutes alone.
Some people think when they come here and they ride the chair, it's a lonely ride. I never really thought of it that way.
Mad River was founded by a guy named Roland Palmetto because he wanted to start a ski area where sport and not money was going to be the overriding concern. He built the single chair here in 1948, and then someone figured out very quickly that a double chair was just as easy to build as a single chair. The single chairs went away very quickly, and this thing has kind of hung around for a long time.
You're forced to really focus on what's going on around you, to look down, just watch some of the skiers having fun, and when you get up there, you can look across the valley into New York.
As the ski industry's changed over the years, this place hasn't. Everything that we do shouldn't work, but it does. There's not a lot of ski areas in the world where the skiers are donating money to build a lift.
There's something about, like, you know, waiting in line in the corral and you're going back and forth and you're saying hi to people, you're carrying on multiple conversations. It's just a real friendly vibe that, you know, it's not like a hashtag campaign where we're trying to create a community. It's already here.
Sitting on that single chair is like coming home.